later on. Right now, I want to thank my guest here who was supposed to be on at 8:40 for being a very patient participant. Shawn Cobra joining us in studio this morning. How in the world are you, buddy?
Pretty good, pretty good. I appreciate you letting me on today.
Oh, I'm happy to have you on. It's been a while since the two of us have sat down and talked. I did see you on Thursday night, and thank you for recording the candidate forum and making it available to people to watch, folks who couldn't be there. Did I do okay handling the stress last hour? Did I do all right?
Yeah, I didn't really even notice at first, and then as I kept talking to you and you were plowing through problems, I could tell when to be quiet.
You know, that's essentially how it goes when you have issues and problems, things that when you're doing, I want to say like a small market type radio approach, sometimes you're chief cook and bottle washer, you know what I mean? You just have to be able to fill all of the necessary voids in order to make things happen. So thank you very much for joining us. Tell us about the company that you have, some of the things that you've done. I know this has been kind of an interesting venture for you because I've known you for a lot of years, and you obviously have gotten involved in a lot of different areas when it comes to video production. You just do a little something in all different kinds of arenas.
Yeah, it's been a wild run, and a lot of people know me from all kinds of different situations. I grew up on a farm here in Missouri, so I mean, you know, we're still kind of doing hay. So, I guess my whole point is, I guess I've always wanted to. I love farming, but it was always like anything but farming, and it just kind of pushed me to get into the education side of things and just learn about possibilities in multimedia and try to help people solve problems with whatever issue it is on the multimedia level, and photos and video are part of that, but also getting on the backside of websites and developing apps and just helping people with their businesses and solve solutions is kind of what the whole idea of Big Planet Media is, and it's been fun.
When did you start Big Planet Media?
Officially, it was I had started a community TV station down here, and I sold that, and then it was just Big Planet Media after that. I mean, I've been doing multimedia probably since like a freshman in high school. I would DJ the dances at the high schools. Mm-hmm. I was our class treasurer, and it was like, okay, we're gonna try to do a fundraiser, but if it's gonna cost us $500 for the DJ at the end of the night, we're going to make $200. So then we would just DJ it ourselves.
Right.
And I never looked back. I mean, it's always been that way. We just try to make things happen. And yeah, it's been exciting the last few years after we sold the TV station. It was sky's the limit. And the big thing was the web, you know, and how to get into more people's pockets, I guess you could say, in a good way, and that's being on the phone platform and the tablet platform, and we really kind of push that technology and try to interact with customers and in the places they're at, you know, and everybody's got the phone and the tablets nowadays and
right.
The smartphones and everything. So that's kind of where I put a lot of my time into is that platform. And here we are today, I guess.
Here we are today, and it just keeps getting bigger and better. The technology has changed so much, I'm sure, from when you first started, and you had to roll out, you know, everything you wanted to use at a shoot. It took up probably half the company vehicle, and now it's getting smaller and it's more precise. It still screws up when you have a power outage.
Yeah,
but you have the opportunity to bounce back and bounce back nicely. So let's talk about where you're at now with this project you're working on. It's called Boat Life.
Yeah, Boat Life, Lake of the Ozarks. When COVID happened and we were all kind of put in a situation where we had to stay in or kind of not go too far, you know, I was working out of my garage basement situation, and we'd been mapping some territories with the drones and coming up with 3D maps. And me and my cousin, he lives in Croatia. He's doing a lot of all the coding on this. We've got a couple employees that are helping us now, but this has been about a 2.5 year process to build this, where we got but they we started mapping these areas of the lake. We I guess did 7 miles of the Lake of the Ozarks, and we're starting to put buildings in, and it's basically a game. It's an interactive. You can drive around the Lake of the Ozarks. We have different missions you do. You drive boats. There's different boats, different props. It's all using the Unity platform for video games. So it's almost any video game. I mean, there's 2 different platforms. Unity's one of them, and it's the physics in the game are real. So like we're making real small prop moves on the boat, and then you can actually see the changes in the game. And so that'll be neat when people are racing. They can pick up their own setups, the way the boat is. It's really incredible. We're working on a 2-player mode eventually, and so you'll be able to pick up the game and eventually boat with your friend through the phone anywhere in the world on the Lake of the Ozarks. And then because it's connected to the internet, you'll be able to interactively interact with some of these businesses. Say you want to rent a room from a place, you'll be able to click on that, and if they're part of the game, then they'll be able to access that platform. And
so it's not only a game, but it's a great way to promote Lake of the Ozarks.
100%.
Yeah.
It's I know you've had people on talking about the metaverse and stuff, and we'd been working on it for about, like I said, 2.5 years. Facebook kind of promoted it the last 6 months, a year. I mean, they were the ones that come up with like the Oculus and all that stuff, but they really pushed the metaverse last year, and we'd already been working on it for about 2.5 years to push this. And yeah, we've just kind of slowly put this out as we have other jobs as well. This has kind of been our back pocket project, but like I said, we've taken on a couple employees now on it, and it's really exciting. We got the whole idea was to keep it local with local businesses that could see use out of it, and we're starting to pick those guys up. Some dock companies are coming on. We've got I don't know if you guys, everybody knows Pro Designs, but Jimmy was one of the first guys to come on. And so when you get a different wrap on the boat, it's a Pro Design wrap. But we're really trying to promote these businesses at a large scale. When we were talking about earlier with the TV station, that was great. And I just seen the market as being kind of a limited thing, being on the cable. And that's when we're doing this game, it's really going to be a national and global platform. When we release this, it'll be global. So hopefully we'll have new eyes looking at the lake, and by the time they get done playing the game, you'll have a real education on what's really going on.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, and that again is the nice thing about all of this, is that you have fun on the lake. You can play it anywhere. You can learn more about the lake. I would say there might even be an opportunity to put it before some of the groups and organizations that promote the lake, Tri-County Lodging, Convention and Visitor Bureau, some of the chambers maybe, and get them on board, and maybe they can help to market it here locally, so that you can market it not only locally, but throughout the state, throughout the country, throughout the world, and show everybody what a neat place Lake of the Ozarks is. It's interesting when you sit down and you put something like this together, because when someone's playing a video game, I don't think we take the time at all to realize all of the work that goes into the process. Now, you said it's been about 2.5 years to get to the point where you are now, and you want to grow it some more. What are some of the things that you have to consider? Obviously, you have to have a plan. You have to be able to put that plan in place and execute the plan as far as what you want to do and how you want to do it. What are some of the steps that you have to go through in order to develop a game, which, like you said, there's a lot of code and things like that involved, so you got to have somebody who knows what they're doing there. But the overall game itself, what are some of the things that you've had to implement throughout the whole process to get it where it is today?
Yeah, I mean, it's starting. It's a new, the games. I went to school for this 20 years ago, and I didn't know how to make a game after I graduated. it took me 20 years to get to this point to understand all the tools necessary to get to where we're at. And my cousin as well. I mean, we do 3D models for different companies and stuff. But it took all these small projects over the years to get us to understand how to develop with the different softwares, how to integrate them together, and how to put them into Unity as one. And then, like you said, the coding behind that. When you press left, does the guy go left, or does the boat go left? Or when we actually started the game, the first time we turned the game on, all the boats took off because we automatically had them just set to go. And so that was like, so we had to go back and reprogram all the boats to just sit idle until a person got in there and hit the throttle. There's so many things within the game, like the actual physics of the game. But I mean, a lot of it, we're using a lot of Adobe products. If people are familiar with Adobe, Photoshop,
right,
3D Max Studio, 4D Cinema. That's more on what they're doing. My cousin, and then we've got right now in the stages we're making maps and just integrating from when you're playing the game from a 3D standpoint. And then you go back to a 2D map overlay. If people are familiar with Grand Theft Auto, it's kind of the same kind of concept. We're not going to be violent like that. We're actually going to be educational. You'll be able to do some missions where you're driving a boat and you have to go on certain lanes. We've got a sailboat we're working on, and the physics are there with the wind. And that's kind of what originally started this whole thing. Was I wanted to map the first 7 miles of the lake because I sail, and I wanted to watch how the wind came off the hills, because that's, as a sailor, you that's an advantage down here. And once we did that, I was like, okay, now what are we gonna do with this model? And we were like, okay, let's make the game out of it. You know, it's kind of a weird circle to go around, but we've been working hard on it. We've got a couple game companies in Europe that are interested in helping us launch it, and we're just getting a lot of support online from a global audience. The guys I've never met. You meet online, and then they show you their portfolios of what they've done, and we've kind of just been piecing this thing together. And I'm excited. You know, I wanted to show somebody, like I brought it in today. I wanted, like, instead of being on a piece of paper or this idea,
right?
We really took the time to develop it, and like I said, this is like 0.5. It's not the full release, but we're excited to get to that point.
Eventually, it's going to be available, you know, as you said, to a lot of different people on different platforms. Tell us, I mean, if people can they see it now? Can they check it out? Can they at least get an idea of what it is, what your goal is? And I say that because, you know, there's a lot of businesses around the lake that might find this a great marketing tool.
100%. We've got a Facebook page and a website. Boat Life Lake of the Ozarks is the Facebook page. And that's probably the easiest to go look at that, and then we have links to the actual site. But there's tons of marketing opportunities for businesses to get involved with. Like I said, we got this demo together, and we wanted to really pitch the demo and have people experience it before we tried to sell them this idea, which I feel like my whole life's been like that. When we pitch these crazy ideas, and you know, how are we going to do it? And we just kind of figured out how to do it. I'm kind of rambling here, but we just got done with a company's app. They wanted us to map all the rivers in the United States and to figure out what the river levels were. And we did that. We used all the government data that's out there and plugged it all together. We made this app for a company here. I don't know if I can say it, but Big Bag USA, a local company here in Canada.
Great folks. Yeah,
Tom. And so that's what my company is about, is like solving these problems. I mean, we really do a lot of deep thinking on how to solve these massive data sets most of the time. And, you know, with that app, now he's got the ability to watch, you know, if somebody lives in a floodplain area, you can get a warning on your phone, or even order, you know, products through them, or whatever the case is. But we're really trying to tackle these bigger ideas, and the game is so much more than a game. It is an experience of the lake for people, and before they come down here and spend a lot of money not knowing what they're doing, they
Right.
can kind of plan what they want to do.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. We've got a caller on the line. Caller, good morning. You're on the Daily Show with KB and Shawn Cover. What's up?
Hey guys, I know Shawn, good guy. One thing I'm thinking about too is this might be great for like voter safety, right? Have a scenario that you do where like showing people where they have to yield and when, like who gives way in certain situations, because I think people are confused about that, and or even like nighttime voting, like looking for which color lights, which way you yield.
Mm-hmm.
It could probably help people understand a lot of that stuff if they could scenario that they run through. And it kind of teaches them what that voter's course is supposed to be.
I really think that's a great idea. I mean, that would be a great addition, considering some things I saw out on the lake over the weekend, especially with PWCs. I think that is a great idea, and maybe you could get with Shawn, and that would be another avenue that you could pursue. Certainly coming to the lake and enjoying all the things that we have, but a little safety couldn't hurt anybody either.
Well, yeah, 100%. I mean, it's very
interesting, something like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting, like just the fact that I've been here since I was a kid and kind of have thrown myself into the lake literally a couple times, but knowing some of these ideas and thoughts that locals know about the lake, rather than some company coming in here and building the game and just kind of coming up with these things. I mean, we're organically building this with actual people. There's a guy who passed away, and we actually did a demo boat. We redid their whole design of their boat, and the son sent us pictures and stuff, and it's been really neat working with people, fans. We've got like a little fan group and stuff, and the boating community has really gotten behind us. We've kind of been dragging our feet because we don't want to put something out there that's not ready, and I feel like we're there now. So I thanks for the information.
Just wanted to call in.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and most definitely we're going to put safety in there. That's
great idea, caller.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the opportunity this morning. And I think that's one of the nice things about anything that you do here. We're fortunate to have the diversity that we do at the Lake of the Ozarks in terms of people that have retired here. They've got second homes here. You really get the cream of the crop, and I would imagine if there's people out there that would want to contact you and maybe consult a little bit, there's probably a way to do that. I don't know if you want to give your phone number out on the air or just direct them to your website. What is the website, Shawn?
The Facebook site is Boat Life Lake of the Ozarks is the Facebook site, and bigplanetmedia.com is my website. But yeah, no, I mean, we're looking to get businesses involved in the game. We have a couple that we have in the game, and we use that in our marketing as well. So people are getting just out there in ways that they probably didn't even think they would get, other than being in the game. It's kind of a neat project. It's like I said, it's. We're building something that I know I'm going to be dealing with probably for the rest of my life. So it's like that model train set you build in your basement, but this one's just on a hard drive. So it's hard to get away from it when it's just code, But that's what's the beauty of it. We have a couple guys, and we just keep sending the code around, and we just get better and better objects in the game. We got artists that are helping us model different buildings, different boat designs, and so we're really trying to bring the lake to life. And a few years ago when they were selling those Monopolies and they were repurposing the Monopoly, and it was kind of a regional thing,
right?
That sparked me like, how can we make something bigger than that, and reach more people? And that was kind of a kicker too, and doing all this multimedia, and it was just trying to put everything together.
It's interesting because you think about it, and when you got started you had an idea, and then it kept growing legs. So you talk about it as a game that shows off the lake. You could utilize it as a marketing tool. The caller that chimed in said, how about incorporating some boater safety tips along the way? I think those are all great ideas, and I'm sure there are probably even more once people put their heads together and come up with some more ideas and a direction that you'd like to see it go. If you're interested, Facebook, check it out, Boat Life Lake of the Ozarks. And if you'd like to talk to Shawn directly, you could also take the opportunity to go to bigplanetmedia.com. We've got another caller on the line, so let's go ahead and talk about that. Caller, thank you so much for joining us. You're on The Daily Show. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say Shawn Kober has done a lot for this community. For those that don't know, he goes around and records a lot of these public events that other media outlets won't record or don't want to get involved with. And he does it free of charge. He doesn't charge anything. Does it on his own dime. And, you know, I have to tell you, that is something that is so rare. Most people just don't want to volunteer that kind of time. And I just want people to know that. And I've come to know Shawn a lot better over the last number of months. And he's a good person. He's got a great heart for this community. And I just want people to know that. And I know he's not going to brag on himself, but I wanted to do it for him.
Well, thank you, caller. I'm sure he appreciates that.
Yeah, you got me almost crying in here.
All right, take care, guys.
Have a good day, and I appreciate the phone call this morning. Again, Shawn, it is great to have the opportunity to talk with you. And if you don't mind, if it's not out of your realm of possibilities, maybe one more thing to add to your to-do list. But keep us in the loop with the game, and as it develops more, we'll bring you back in to talk about it. And certainly, if there are folks out there, as I said, who'd like to find out more about it, they'd like to get involved, they'd like to add some input, Boat Life Lake of the Ozarks on Facebook, or contact Shawn directly at bigplanetmedia.com.
Can I clarify something?
Absolutely.
I do take payments. I just don't know who to bill. So
Right.
I just I would take payments if I knew who to bill, but no.
Well, you know what? It's a good thing that you're doing, and like I said, there's so many different ways this can go, and so many different aspects for something like this to be beneficial to the Lake of the Ozarks. So, Shawn, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, great. It was amazing, and it's so neat to see what you guys are doing. This is amazing. Good luck in everything you guys are doing. It's community needs it. Obviously, there's so much out here to do, and there's so many events, right? I mean, it's
right.
Exponentially growing every year. This lake just keeps growing and growing, and the information needs to be out there.
Well, and this is something I would imagine that a lot of people don't think about when you're here at the Lake of the Ozarks. We've got people who are developing a game to promote the area, to have some fun, and to learn something along the way. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We're going to step aside here for just a few and